It is June 10th, and I wanted to give a follow-up garden update because things are progressing amazingly and blooming, and so not as fresh as it was the last update, but there's still a new burst of flowers. Our Dames rocket, you can't really see, it's all the purple and white flowers you see everywhere, like along the freeway and roadsides. Well, they're about ending, but there's a huge patch of daisies in bloom and this big rose bush just flush with flowers, which I'm very much enjoying. Now there's actually Dawn's flowers have kind of phased out. The flowers that were in this whole bed, all the bulbs, and now all my flowers are coming in strong. So right here I've got chamomile, my sage is blooming. I have dianthus transplants of various colors, and even my thyme that I started from seed last year now is blooming and growing quite well. Other flowers this is Premier Kale, and by now it's going crazy because I haven't kept up picking the little florets, which can be used like broccoli, but now the plant is I'm just gonna remove it pretty soon, as soon as it's done flowering. It's nice to have it for the bees. All my alliums were blooming. I don't know if you can see, but I planted loads of chives just interspersed in the back outside of the garden, because they do really well at reseeding themselves and just growing. So my strategy is I'm trying to phase out annuals and try to plant more things that grow more like perennials, that will just fill the area themselves, and chives are definitely one of those. So the chives are blooming. My onion flowers are about ending. I've got them kind of interspersed here and there, a little in the back. Also blooming. Oh, I should learn what this one is. The flowers are kind of like dianthus in a way, but I can't remember what it's called. Daisies are about to pop. More Dames rocket. I also need to learn the name of this one. It smells super sweet. More kale blooms. What else? Oh yes, more blooms of mine are all these peas. Just this wall of sugar snap peas. Oh look! This is the first I've spotted the purple ones. I haven't planted as many as last year because I don't appreciate the flavor as much. They're purple snow peas. But they're just really cool, and they have beautiful, beautiful pink and purple flowers that are so worth growing. They also grow half the height of the sugar snap peas, interestingly. But look at all these blooms. They are just waiting for rain so that all of the sugar snap peas will plump up. They're really loaded right now. Yeah. So that's really exciting. Okay, what else is going on? This transplant bed, I'm in the process of gradually transplanting all the kales and collards out, and they've done very well. I just now need to get a move on so that I can use the bed for something else. Asparagus is pretty much done, so we're just letting it branch out. This parsley is trying to flower. That's okay. That's what it does. So my lettuce transplant experiment, where I transplanted self-seeding romaine here and there, has done very well. So let me show you. It self-seeded all in this area, and where I didn't thin it out, it's just growing kind of thin, wispy. But where it was spaced out more like this, it's it's growing more of a head. And and because of the terrible heat we had last week, these heads are bolting already. You can see flowers starting to form. So I'm just chopping those down and using them in salads as soon as I can. But I think I grew some head varieties back here, which I need to thin out. I basically, oh, I love this lettuce. Oh, it's, oh yeah, salad bowl lettuce. My favorite variety since the start of my gardening experience. It stays bright green and so delicately frilly throughout the whole year. Can't recommend it enough. Yeah, so lots of varieties of lettuce are happening. And the ones under the peas, look at this. They are very happy. This was a great idea. Now, you can't see back there, the end of the long row of peas. It's all weeds under there. But I think I'm gonna try sowing some lettuce, see how that goes. I have some beets here, and they look like they're just about getting ready to start plumping out, but it will be a while. Ho ho ho, cilantro is very happy. I transplanted cabbage here, and thankfully they haven't been demolished by flea beetles yet. But I need to get a move on sowing beans, because my initial sowing, nothing sprouted here, and I got very sparse germination there. So yeah, I also am gonna sow something where all this lettuce is, as I gradually remove it. I'll probably start sowing something tall on the edges, maybe more okra, because one can always use more okra. These are my sown nasturtium, just starting to pop up, and lots of turnips figuring out what they're doing. They're very slow in coming, and if you can see, this is just a conglomeration of so much stuff, but I did put okra interspersed in rows on either side of the turnips, and it's doing all right. I have some squash starting to sprout. I'm giving it more space than I ever have before, because my biggest downfall is planting too much in too small of a space, because I just want to grow as much as possible. So we'll see how that goes. I just sowed some of a new variety of a kale that I got as a splurge. I think it's called Feathered Frills. Rather beautiful. Kind of like Red Russian, it's looking like, but it's supposed to be even more frilly. So I'm going to transplant those out soon, and I'm very excited. Oh, that radish needs to go. Oh, this bed is starting to bolt. But look at this beautiful little guy. Lots of good radishes, but it's been tricky keeping them from bolting. I interplanted corn with the radishes here, and it's really hard not to weed them out because they look like grass. But they're coming along well. That's my glass gem corn. The garlic is coming along well. At my community garden, the garlic started sending out scapes already, but since it's a little shadier here, it's gonna be a little while longer. So just letting that go. Finally, the kohlrabi was able to reemerge from lots of flea beetle damage. I don't see plumping out yet. This is a very special variety of kohlrabi. New this year. You might be able to guess that it's not exactly normal, and guess how it might turn out. Okay, there's a little bit of plumping of kohlrabi. These are supposed to be Brussels sprouts, but I keep getting some damage. I'm gonna have to find another one to transplant out, because that's just demolished. Some are doing better than others. But let's see what else. My chard is getting hit with, I don't know if it's slugs or what, but it's making the leaves really thin like that. Hopefully Once the leaves get bigger, they'll get sturdier. But I think back here is a bunch of turnips. They're quite happy. And my tomatoes are finally getting bigger. I have a couple flowers. Those are the first. But overall, they're still pretty tiny. I don't know that this little guy is gonna make it. I might need to substitute another plant. But I do have a couple small ones yet. Anyway, what is doing well here is all the lettuce, all the head lettuce, all different varieties mixed with onions. I'm so happy how it turned out. Now I just need to give it a lot of space. And okay, look at this. This is just, it was called Gourmet Blend of lettuce. And it is doing so well, even though I planted kind of closely. And I'm just discovering new varieties of lettuce I never knew that I needed. So that's fun. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So far, these ornamental pigeon pink kale, they're holding their own, but getting hit by cabbage worms, little green worms that I find on the underside of the leaves sometimes. So I just have to take time to check occasionally and maybe do some squishing of the worms, but I'm content because the pest damage of my brassicas is nothing at this garden compared to the community garden. Just different locations require different strategies, and yeah, so brassicas are one thing I can do well here, it seems. Let's take a moment to appreciate my red Russian kale started from seed. Isn't it beautiful? And it seems a little more resilient against pests. This is a new variety too. It's like Yokohama ornamental type kale that has a purple center. That's just, yeah, really love it. Oh yes, stevia plant, that might be new since the last update. I think I need to prune it, like chop it off there so it can get more branchy. But lemon balm, yeah, that needs to be pruned too. I already did some, but it definitely has some to spare. I've never seen sage blooms before, but I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Oh look, right up here, Dawn's her hollyhocks that she sowed from seed. I think this is the second year, and they are about to just burst in bloom. I cannot wait. She does well with flowers. So that's just a little update of what's happening here. Yeah, salads galore right now, and the peas are just bursting. So I'm very content.